Good. Hello, everybody. Meeting to order. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. First thing we get to do is tenure recognition. So with that, I will, one of you guys want to do just a quick overview for the board?
Sure. So tenure, for someone to receive tenure, good evening, everybody. For everybody to receive tenure, a teacher or administrator must be an appointed teacher or administrator who has completed all certification and licensing requirements and satisfactorily completed a probationary period. And traditionally, a probationary period is 4 years, but sometimes they can have less if they come in with a tenure already and an effective rating. So tonight we have 11 people recommended for tenure, and it's such an exciting evening. They have shown such commitment, growth, and positive impact on our students. So I'm so happy that you're all here. And so we have some kind words and supportive words for each of you from your supervisors and principals. So Ellen.
Well, and just so the board knows, there's an attachment that basically shows all the people when we saw them in executive session, all those good things. Anyway.
All right. So Ellen Mosen, our beloved librarian for Enrollment Alden. I'll start and then Tom will finish. So in an attempt to limit myself from running my mouth all night, I have about 6 points for each of the candidates. So Ellen, I just want to start off by saying how she's willing to take on any task, whether it's working with our pre-K students, taking them on nature walks, redesigning the Elm Library, which she took on last spring and over the summer. She went as far as putting herself in the library last summer during construction phase, volunteering to take 3 or 4 days out of her vacation to actually literally stain the library shelves with her bare hands. Seeking out furniture for sensory spots for the kids. It's constantly above and beyond. And how can I help? This year, we asked her the big task of taking on some STEAM planning. She jumped right into it, constantly asking for feedback. It's a challenging position to be in. We gave her Science 21 curriculum, which is pretty rigorous. And she was always asking, like, what can I do more? What can I do next? Give me feedback on it. And that growth mindset is really something that we look for here. She's very passionate about creating memorable experiences for our kids, whether it's the way that she designs spaces, the way that she designs virtual experiences, or how she's latched on to STEAM and made it exciting for our students to conduct experiments. And finally, she's willing to help out any classrooms in any way as well. So she will go hall to hall during different times of the year, just saying, hey, I'm working on this in the library. How can I help? How can I incorporate it? So it's that sort of team playing attitude and that always willingness to get her hands dirty in real life, like seeds of planting, which is why we're very happy to have her.
And I would just add, we have 2 quotes from a couple of our teachers. First of all, from Mrs. Link, 5th grade teacher. She states, Ellen's an enthusiastic teacher, and it's evident that she loves teaching children. And from Mrs. Carey, 3rd grade teacher, Ellen is a great addition to our elementary faculty. She's always kind, helpful, and knowledgeable. She gathers resources for our 3rd grade research projects, and even a search online to find more high-interest books for our biography unit. Ellen has also contributed to our school community, organizing business by local authors to engage and inspire young readers and writers. So both buildings embrace Ellen as a colleague and a valued team member for years to come, we hope. Teaching is a great profession, and having Ellen on our team, on both teams at Elm Drive and Alden Place, is a win for Millbrook. And it's an honor to recommend Ellen for tenure.
Do I have a motion to, hang on, not done yet. Do I have a motion to approve tenure for Ellen? Do I have a second? Second. Questions, comments? All in favor? Aye. Any against? Now. If you guys have any example here, can you guys order us breakfast? All right, next.
I'll be speaking about Steve. So Steve is our middle school principal. He was formerly an assistant principal here in the district. He has done so many things, but a couple of things that really stand out. When he was assistant principal, he started with Dr. Morey, the application for the middle school Schools to Watch program. And he, in his principal tenure, has ushered that program into the middle school and also just been redesignated, so that's very exciting. During COVID, Steve also helped with being our primary source of communication for our Spanish-speaking families. So he's done a lot of work there and also working with the TESOL program for our English language learners throughout the district, not just in the middle school. He worked with Dutchess Bothes to coordinate a professional learning community throughout Dutchess County. That was something that was started last year, so that professionals, we are very small. Sometimes our teachers only have themselves teaching the subject area or content area or grade level that they teach. So Steve has worked with other principals in the county to bring teachers together to work in unison to create new and exciting lessons for our students. Steve has done some work with One Book, One School, and most recently he moved the 6th grade all down into one center for a soft landing into middle school. Transitions are really hard for students and it's proven to be a huge success. The teachers are loving it and I think the students really enjoyed having that opportunity to transition in a stepwise way before just being thrown into middle school. So on our team, Steve is what we call the activator. When something needs to get done, he's the one who will set the wheels in motion. That is one of his strengths for sure. And he is a leader among the administrators, always making sure that the communication with the district office staff and the other principals is seamless. And it really helps us to stay organized and build continuity throughout the district. So for that reason and others, I'm happy to recommend, along with the superintendent, Steve Cabello, for tenure as a principal.
Do I have a motion to approve tenure for Steve?
I'll make the motion.
Do I have a second? Any discussion, questions, comments? All in favor? All right. Any against? Very good. All right. Next is.
Chinaski.
Chinaski,
No, I
Mr. Chinaski. So Mr. Chinaski joins us remotely this evening. I'm very lucky enough to share the main office with Mr. Chinaski. As you can imagine, our office at times gets extremely busy, certainly stressful at times, but we could always count on Mr. Chinaski to mix in a little fun. So he definitely contributes and oftentimes makes us all laugh. But he also works really hard and we definitely appreciate the balance. Mr. Chinaski has many strengths, but I don't think I've ever met someone as organized and as caring as Mr. Chinaski. Certainly two qualities that are needed in school counseling. But in addition to his organization and caring of his students and others, he's extremely helpful with things that need to get done, and he's not afraid to help in any way. He's a tremendous asset to our school, and students trust him immensely. Therefore, I highly recommend Mr. Chinaski for tenure.
I do have a motion to approve Thomas's tenure. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any questions, comments, concerns? All in favor? Aye. Any against? Congratulations, Tom.
Miss H, that's me again. So in my time working with Miss H, one thing has remained very constant when it comes to her as an educator. She is a go-getter in pursuit of her goals. She is always eager to help in any way, regardless of what it takes. She cares deeply for all of our students and wants each of them to reach their maximum potential. She is willing to help in any way possible. And when she can't, she's not afraid to seek help from a counselor, school psychologist, or myself so that we could assist to help a student or students in need of that support. As a special education teacher, she has an in-depth knowledge of content areas for co-teaching and supplemental instructional models. Again, she works very closely with our support staff and has been a tremendous addition to our special education department. As a result, I highly recommend Ms. H for tenure.
Okay. Do I have a motion to approve Laura's tenure? Do I have a second?
Awesome.
Any questions, comments, concerns? All in favor? Aye. Any against? Congratulations.
Samantha Holzberg.
Me again. So Ms. Holzberg's fantastic too. I can share her dual certification strengths and assets, her successful implementation of the Readers and Writers Workshop, her work as an admin intern, and much, much, much more. But the most important observations I have made while working with Ms. Holzberg is her connection that she makes with each of her students. She has always demanded respect, but has always shown her students respect in return. They trust her. They grow as young adolescents and become better students when leaving her classroom. And if she chooses to remain in the classroom, her future students are going to be very, very lucky to have her. Therefore, again, I highly recommend Ms. Holzberg.
All right. Do I have a motion to approve Samantha's tenure? Do I have a second? Any comments, questions, concerns? All right, all in favor? Aye. Any against? Congratulations, Samantha.
Kelly Mahoney.
Speak about Ms. Mahoney. So quick words on my behalf. When we were hiring a guidance counselor, I went to the superintendent's office and I just explained how important this position is at the middle school. You're the only principal in the building. This person has to be your right and left hand at all times. When we met Ms. Mahoney immediately in the interview, it was clearly evident that she was the person for the job. I have something that Ms. Obrazak wrote on her behalf. She's our school psychologist who works hand in hand with her regularly. So I just wanted to read that today. She said, "Today is a proud moment for Kelly Mahoney, but also for the Millbrook Central School District as a community. For the past 4 years, Ms. Mahoney has been dedicated for supporting students and families through her vital work as a counselor, but also as one of the coaches of the track team. Her professionalism shined during the pandemic in that she made contact with students and families by any means necessary, as she understood that keeping children to a routine was one protective factor she could provide. 4 years ago, when faced with filling the big shoes of her predecessor, it was very evident during Ms. Mahoney's interview that she would be the right fit for the Millbrook Central School District. She has proven that to be true time and time again. Ms. Mahoney is a hardworking, detail-oriented, and thorough in her approach while supporting the district's social and emotional needs with a calm, poised demeanor. She has the judgment of an educator who is far beyond her years in education. She models setting healthy boundaries and being a reliable team player. Consulting with her has made me a better educator. Millbrook Central School District has hit the jackpot when Ms. Mahoney walked into our middle school 4 years ago, and she has earned the recognition this evening. Please join me in congratulating after we work Ms. Mahoney as our school council.
So I assume you recommend it.
Recommend.
Just check. Do I have a motion to approve Kelly's tenure?
I'll second.
All right, any questions, comments, concerns? All in favor? Aye. Any against? Very good.
Caroline Hernandez Padala. She asked me to be brief. So
Where
I'm
does she
going
work?
to be brief and powerful. You are truly in the company of greatness when you enter our central offices and are greeted by Deputy Superintendent Caroline Hernandez Padala, who demonstrates every day that she is an amazing leader and one of the most passionate people in our field. As she worked toward this very big accomplishment, she has led with humility, grace, and kindness to others. I appreciate how she always shares her successes with her team, and her love for this district is one of the many reasons she's rising to the top. Caroline is a wonderful, loving, dedicated, creative educator and lifelong learner who is a role model for students and colleagues. Her love and excitement for education and students are contagious. Through her words, actions, and hard work, it is obvious that she wants each of our students to use the skills, knowledge, and opportunities they have gained here in district to become good citizens, great leaders, and extraordinary people who will accomplish great things. Congratulations, Caroline. This is an incredible milestone, and you deserve the spotlight to celebrate this moment. I highly recommend Caroline Hernandez Padala for tenure.
Do I have a motion to approve Caroline's tenure? Do I have a second?
Second.
Any questions, comments, concerns? Where do I begin? All in favor? Aye. Any against? Caroline, congratulations. All right.
Tricia Gretel.
So Trish Reddle has worked with us here at the middle school, and when she first came to us, she was a teaching aide. It is no surprise that now she's a teaching assistant. She continues to better herself inside and outside the classroom. She is such a support for all our students on so many levels. She can always be counted on to be there for our kids socially, emotionally, organizationally, and well beyond that. When we made the official move to have our sixth graders come into this soft landings program, one of the things we talked about is how do we best support these students as they make that transition from fifth grade to sixth grade. And so one of the major ways we've done that is having this consistency of having Ms. Reddle as a teaching assistant in the room throughout all those classes. So in her first few years, she was getting to know the whole building, knowing seventh grade, eighth grade. Now she's primarily in the sixth grade where our students came from most. I think that's truly a testament to her character as a person. She can be relied to do absolutely anything in the building. And the thing I always love the most about her is that at any moment we can go to Trish and say, hey, we need assistance with this or that. She's always ready to step up. She's an incredible asset to her team. I can't recommend her highly.
Do I have a motion to approve Tricia's tenure? Do I have a second?
A second.
Any questions, comments, concerns? All right, all in favor? Any against?
Arts like.
So I'm speaking of Eric, Rick, as we all call him. He comes to us with over 20 years of experience as a school administrator, as a dean of students, assistant principal, athletic director, and principal. He has experience at the K-12 level, so all throughout. He is a quiet leader on our team because of the varied positions that he's held in the past. He often is able to contribute in conversations on the K-12 spectrum in terms of curriculum, instruction, and just general leadership. So his insight is very, very welcome. He, as a former athletic director, has given direction to the Millbrook Athletic Department. And most recently, he has served as the voice of Millbrook Athletics. So personally broadcasting, live streaming our sporting events, which is something that was new during COVID, but this establishing that system that will remain in place, which is really nice. Out of town family members are able to log in and watch their loved ones play, and I think that's huge. During his time at the high school, he has brought in and introduced some classes that previously didn't exist, including college credit bearing foreign language classes, Syracuse University Project Advanced Forensics, AP Computer Science and reintroducing AP Calculus BC, which is something that hasn't been at the high school in about 5 years. Under his leadership, there's also been the introduction of some new clubs that are very inclusive in nature with mock trial, the Pride Club, the esports team. And there's many other accomplishments that he's had in this position as well. And for that reason and others, I, along with the superintendent, recommend Eric Syke for tenure at Sloan High School.
Do I have a motion to approve Eric's tenure? Do I have a second? Any questions, comments, concerns? All in favor? Aye. Any against? Eric?
Mariah Stafford.
So, things that stand out when we think about Mariah is her willingness to collaborate with all staff across all grade levels. She can be a voice that helps bridge our pre-K world to our upper first and second grade. She is constantly reflecting on her practice, looking for ways to improve, asking for feedback. She's a constant example of trying new things, whether it's the ways that we look at data, the ways that we work with students in teams and group learning, or the ways that we integrate technology. Her willingness to do whatever is best for students, which sometimes isn't always the easiest thing to do for adults, but she's always there with what's best for kids. She is passionate about creating an engaging environment for our students. And along with what's been said about some of our other folks, her demeanor in the classroom and with families and with other professionals speak volumes as if she's been teaching for over 20 years. What really stands out is her calm and caring voice that puts families and students at ease. Most recently, I was in a meeting with a family who they were sad to see their student leave her and go somewhere else. You know, they were so moved by how impactful her presence was. So, I could not recommend her more for this position. Proud to have her.
Do I have a motion to approve Mariah's tenure?
So moved.
Also.
You have to say. Any questions, comments, concerns? All in favor? Aye. Any against? Congratulations, Mariah.
Ellie Wilbur.
Mrs. Wilbur, loyal, dedicated, wealth of knowledge in all the content areas, kind, supportive, and committed are just some things that come to mind when describing Mrs. Wilbur. Mrs. Wilbur is simply fantastic with our students. She's very relatable. She's calm. She has a great rapport with building skills and relationships with her students and families. She's always willing to go above and beyond. And I love that she attends nearly every, if not every, MHS extracurricular activity. Therefore, it is my high recommendation. Right, Ms. Wilbur, tenure, or grantor tenure, excuse me.
Do I have a motion to approve Colleen's tenure? Do I have a second? Any discussion, questions, comments? All in favor? Aye. Any against? Congratulations. Now we get to go back to the boring part. Thank you, everybody. Congratulations to everybody. So a motion on the consent, first of all, is there anything anyone wants pulled off of the consent agenda? Do I have a motion to approve consent agenda? Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Any questions or discussion about any of the items that are on there? All in favor? Any against? Yeah. Questions from the public? Okay. Nothing? Well, again, congratulations to everybody. All right, financials. It's there for your review. Do I have a motion to adopt the following the resolution?
So moved.
Have a second? Any question? Yeah, stay till we go.
Good night, everybody.
Um, Any questions again on the financials? All in favor? Aye. Any against? All right. Letter of resignation. Do I have a motion to accept? Do I have a second?
Second.
Any questions or comments? All in favor? Aye. Any against? All right. Board presidents. I'm just, a couple of things. The moving up ceremonies, the concerts, the field days. This has just been a great end of the year. I mean, it almost felt normal being out there. And I'll tell you, our kids were, even with the moving up ceremony and the under and the 10 and 11 grade awards, they're just such great kids. I mean, I wouldn't call any of them out by name, but they're just so polite. They're so, they're having a good time. They're having a good time with each other. So Mike, congratulations to all of the students, because it's been very impressive. And music program that on both sides of it, it's incredible. We put a couple of things on here for you all to think about before we go to the reorg meeting in July, which is the committees, the required ones and the recommended ones. So you'll see like the ones that we actually have to, we don't have a choice but to put in place. But then there's some that we can make a decision whether they're applicable or necessary for us. So it's nothing to review, to vote on or anything. But the committees are there. So take a look at what you try to figure out what you're interested in. Anyway, and I sent a note to you all about what does it stand for? Youth Organization something. I forget. It's YOU. That's probably going to come before us. I mean, we had in my opinion, a large project at BOCES that we had to fund all districts had to fund a piece of it, and then have this new expenditure coming out basically at the far end of the county. I don't know. There's some discussion that says it could be very useful. It's it could be a place where kids could go and explore. So that, you're not, especially the stuff that goes on at BOCES, we're not saying, do you want to be a Mason? And the kids have no idea what a Mason is. So it may have programs like that, but so far, and I've been sort of, I think, pretty vocal about my worries and what I'd like to see them do as far as putting some specifics in place. So anyway, I sent you some stuff. I sent you a link to how you can get to that. anyway. And I think that was all I had. Oh, and I think I sent a note to everybody about the board retreat. We tentatively scheduled it's not really a retreat because it's not like us going off to talk about something specific for us. This will be more of an education thing. Talking about the role of the board, the role of NYSBA. It's tentatively scheduled for
Possibly August 13th.
August 13th. We were going to try to do it. I think that's a night of a school board meeting as well. So try to do it like 5 to 7 or 5 to 6:30. Be able to get out of there, have some dinner for y'all, and then go into our board meeting. But
Saturday.
Oh, yeah, that's our first meeting. 16.
16, yeah. All right, just something to think about. We'll
And I'll
get,
send
yeah.
the actual dates when we're.
and we'll get more details. I think the guy from NYSBA sent us some details, but we'll send them out to you. Then if it works, great. If it doesn't, we can always push it into next year. But I thought it would be a good way to start off the next generation of board. Howard?
As promised, I have nothing.
Nothing. Laura?
Good evening, everybody. A couple things, highlights. Just hope that our fabulous fathers had a happy Father's Day this past weekend. We received a nice thank you from our mayor, Tim, to Miss Anson, Miss Hicks, and the middle school garden club for their beautification efforts. They planted geraniums and picked up garbage around to the village, which is super nice and appreciated. Grade 2, they traveled up to Alden for orientation, getting ready for 3rd grade. And each year, this grade plants a tree, and the tree has been generously donated for the last 3 years by Patrick Murphy, who's the owner of Millbrook Gardens. And this year's tree is a flowering plum tree. So you'll see lots of little trees down there from their rising 2nd graders. I echo everything you said about the field days, the music, the performances, the chorus, the awards. I'm looking forward to the moving up ceremonies and graduation. It's been a great year and a great end of the year. And so I thank you all for making sure that this is the best experience for every single one of our children. I did want to speak about the middle school garden. I don't know if you've seen it in the from the parking lot, but the fence is up. The raised beds are in place. There's planting going on. The shed is in place as well. It's happening. It's a nice partnership with our FACS teacher and students with a 4-H. So I look through my window every day, just looking for that first tomato that I'm going to pluck without anybody knowing. You'll see a bunch of upcoming events here. They've also been sent out to parents so they can mark their calendars. Howard, you asked about private school numbers, and right now we have sent records for 5 rising 8th graders to private parochial schools. And out of the 5, we've received confirmation from 1 that they were accepted and are attending. We'll keep you posted with the numbers. The climate and culture surveys, that was a lot of conversations that we had within the administrative team as well as with the board. And so the family survey went out last week. I think we have about 96 responses, and I just sent out a reminder today. And then grades 6 through 12, 6 through 8 will occur during the day along with the grades 3 through 5, and then are sent out to the high schools. It's confidential, it's optional, and it's anonymous. So hopefully we get some good feedback that we can use to inform our climate and culture work. Just to let you know, Director of Business and Finance, that position has been posted. Right now, we have 3 applications that we're currently reviewing. And then lastly, the staff barbecue, which is on Friday at 11:30. The board is welcome, of course, to join in the festivities, and the funding is coming from MES. So we greatly appreciate that.
Or when should we hear the results of the survey?
When will we have, well, the deadline is the 24th.
Okay.
So we'll find time to analyze and share the results.
I think I know the answer to this question. When the kids that go to the private schools, do we interview them as to why? Do we? We did that in the
Speak with
past.
them.
We've done it in the past. I don't think we've done
We have to do, it's just something that we
Yeah.
have done, we could do.
it. Yeah, I mean, we could make it a policy that we always do it. But if I remember right, the answers we got back weren't, they were kind of,
Some didn't,
didn't really make sense.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's no reason we can't do it.
Who initiates that? Is it-
Somebody administration.
Yeah.
Okay, that might be nice to know.
Yep. That's it? Okay. All right, let's see, principals report. And the principals care because they got their tenure now. All right, stuff. So nobody tonight? I guess not.
That was part of, that was the tenure.
All right, policy committee, anything?
This is the last meeting we had, was on the 10th, and we're currently going through the 6,000 series policies. That's the fiscal policies.
We should-
Probably one or two more meetings. on this, I guess.
Yeah, at some point we should get like, I mean, some of those policies, maybe not now, but up until 2 years ago, some of those policies have been open since the 90s. So it would be nice to know, that we've actually got a set closed, because they're gonna just open up immediately, but at least having a stake in the ground at some time in this decade would be good. Safety committee?
So the safety committee met, I believe it was June 8th, but that's off the top of my head, so. Just to wrap up the school year review, all of our schools were they were on schedule to finish all of their drills as recommended by New York State. I do want to say publicly that we can't talk about the drills that we do, but we do review each of them with an after action review, and we actually exceed New York State's recommendation for drilling and drill exercises. We are conducting a sort of a real life simulation of a reunification drill coming soon. And the reason we're doing that is so that our staff is properly trained should we ever have to run through the exercise of reunification, meaning that we are reuniting children with the appropriate parent that's there to pick them up. So we will be using staff from other buildings to facilitate this. So they're not as familiar with the students that they have to actually rely on the process rather than just on site or anything. So that's actually above and beyond the required drill for New York State. So we do things like this all the time. There have been some inquiries, much of this cannot be spoken about in public for safety and security reasons, but I did just want to make the plug that we are on schedule. We've completed all of our drills in all of our buildings, and we're actually going even above and beyond the required drills.
And I don't want to, any discussion of the actual questions or the answers, because that doesn't belong here, but did we follow up with, there was an email?
Done.
Okay. All right, very good. District climate.
Yes, we met on June 17th. There were about 18 of us, and it was a nice representation of the district. We had a board member there, administration, teachers, parents and guardians, and a student, which we hope to have more students present. We also had reps from the PTO and MEF as well. And so we first started out with the code of conduct, but soon pivoted to talking about why we're all here and really where we landed, but we're crafting a mission statement right now. So the flavor is to build a positive, welcoming, inclusive community for all. So we have one person who is drafting the mission statement, and we hope to schedule a meeting in the near future to continue drafting that and starting to goal set.
I mean, personally, this is one that we need to have some immediate responses or actions or whatever you want to call it. So
Yeah, to step it up, this is not a feel-good.
Yeah.
Committee, it's a step it up, let's get some things going.
Okay, the enrollment report, just seems to be hovering around 840 someplace. Any questions about the enrollment report? MEF report?
Yeah, so we had a very successful Taste to Go for the second year in a row on June 4th. And many individuals in this room supported by donating their time or buying a tote, various ways of participating. So thank you. And to whoever's listening out there from the public, we sold, I think, either just as many or a little bit more than last year. So I wanted to, for whoever's listening, thank you for supporting MEF. We just voted on 2 additional grants, but I won't go into detail about those because I don't want to mess anything up. But at the next meeting, I can give an update. So, you know, donations come in, fundraiser money comes in and almost immediately goes back out. So we had so many wonderful community sponsors and the totes were overflowing with goodies. So just thank you to everyone involved. And we will go back to in-person taste next year, whether we are debating whether we're going to do it summer or early fall, like September, not 2022, but 2020.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Any questions? All right. PTO?
Nothing new. They're kind of winding down. I just wanted to say thank you to the PTO. They did a lot of support for teacher appreciation days, staff appreciation days, things like that. And they usually, I think she said they meet in about August. So there probably won't be any new news for next month or two.
Okay. Next is a suspension incident report. It's basically there for background information. Any questions on that? All right. Future agenda items, other than the stuff we know about. Like I said, we'll put on, as soon as we get some details, we'll put on that retreat. And like I said, we can move it if it doesn't, if those dates don't work out. All right. Where are we? Next is to do I have a motion to go into executive session? Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion?
No, Harry, I just want to say congratulations to the principals. Sorry, I missed the vote. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Gabby there, Paul.
Well
All in
deserved.
favor?
Aye.
Any against? All right. 5 minutes. If anybody needs to